Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are covering the Keg Group's new golf course called the Keg Farm, and it's their first course they've created for PGA Tour 2K23, and it's actually going to be used for the TGC Tour Q School coming up here in a little bit. So definitely keep your eyes on this course. It will be used a whole lot coming up. Now, when the Keg Group comes out with a course, you know it's going to be special. So I'm really excited to jump into this course and see what they've been able to come up with for the new video game here in 2K23. Before we jump in, a little bit about myself. As I've mentioned in previous videos, I am a former NCAA champion and have had Korn Ferry status and played in 4 PGA Tour events. So a lot of my focus is geared towards course management and course strategy discussions. That being said, I have played and designed in this game since the golf club way back in 2015. So I'll definitely talk about a little bit about some of the design elements as well that go into this course. Now, I'm certainly no expert on golf course architecture, but I've been lucky enough to play and compete at some of the best courses around the country, and I hope to provide at least an interesting perspective on some of the courses that I cover in this series, and hopefully today will be no different. So without any further ado, let's just jump right into here and let's check out the plot here, because I just wanted to look around a little bit before we get into it, and I'm still getting used to working with this camera, but I wanted to take a look at this clubhouse over here. And yeah, if you've ever designed a clubhouse in this game, you know how difficult it can be, and it's pretty impressive. When I come up with these, I normally just take one building, plop it down, and then do a bunch of landscaping around it. So seeing a whole bunch of different assets thrown in here and actually making it look good is pretty darn impressive. One thing I noticed, I was looking at it a little bit before we go through, and this is a question I've had, and maybe I'm just out of the loop. I didn't do much designing in the last couple games, so a lot of new techniques have been used. I don't know the purpose for this. Why do designers nowadays raise up the edges of their plots by so much? My guess is it's something to do with the fog over the trees, and it looks a little bit better when you're looking at it from a distance. Like, as you can see way out there in the distance, it's probably a little bit better to have that fog rather than being able to just see the trees here at base level, but I really don't know. I'm not quite sure what the logic is. So if anybody could let me know why they do that, I would love to hear. And one thing to know about me, I'm from Iowa, so you hear about a farm golf course and I come running. You know what? This looks like home to me. This actually has some vibes from a course that's in Iowa called the Harvester. And it's probably the best course in Iowa, I would say. It's maybe not my favorite design, but it's certainly the best kept, and it is an immaculate golf course. There's no denying that. And this certainly looks like the Harvester. Maybe a little bit different looking. It has very Harvester vibes to me. Just the rolling hills with kind of the longer grass along the edges of the fairway and the sweeping slopes. Definitely some trees there too. Yeah, it has a lot of Harvester vibes for me. It's definitely a course that's very interesting. Would love to make a design of it in this game, or at least something inspired by it, but it's really difficult because these grasses, they just don't have the draw distance, and I'm betting all of these were individually placed or very close to individually placed, because in order to see these things from a long way off, you just have to plant them so tall and big that it's really tough to get that look. I wish there was a better way to do it, but you can see the long grass way out there up just ahead of where the head of my guy is, and that's a tough look to achieve in this game. So yeah, looks really good. I'm really excited to jump in. So let's just hop in there. Let's start playing this course. So here we have hole 1, clearly a par 5, and I'm playing all the way back here. So that through bunker doesn't look like it's really in play for me all the way back here. What is this? 330? It's 330 through, down 34 feet. In real life, I mean, I'm hitting driver and just keeping it left of these bunkers all day. I'm probably playing it just left of this through bunker right here, and if I pull it, I get it over to this side. And I think what they're going for here is the more you challenge these bunkers up the right, the better angle you have into this green, because you don't have to work with that front greenside bunker. I haven't seen the green yet. I'm assuming that it's going to slope off of that bunker, so you're probably getting a worse angle from right here. But from a practical standpoint, if I'm playing with driver, I'm aiming this out in here all day, because even from here, I can get it up by the green. If I get it into these bunkers here, I have no chance of getting home. So while the reward for getting it right up into here is definitely there, it's probably not something that I'm really trying to take on realistically, unless I get lucky and happen to pull my tee shot. So I'm going to be aiming it over into here and just trying to get into short grass so that I can have a chance to get this thing on in 2. Ooh, that's a good one. And I'm looking to shoot even par at this course today. That's my goal. And last episode, the back nine, I was 1 under bogey free. So there's actual hope now. I can actually play this game decently well. So yeah, it's a pretty level shot here. It's interesting. If I was to play this, I probably it doesn't really look like you want to miss it over here. This looks like a terrible spot. I would rather be in these in real life, maybe not in this game, because I haven't played this game really since the last episode, so I don't know if any patches have gone through, but the bunker play has been really tough in this game. But I would definitely rather be down in this bunker here, chipping up to this green, with all the green working into me, than being up here, up onto this hill. This looks like death, so I'm probably playing this pretty much at the pin. I'm probably not trying to take it any further left and let it kick down. I'm probably just aiming it right about in here, maybe just a little bit left of this pin. All right, did I cover it? Ooh, I might have. Ooh, this could be pretty good. It's gonna get that kick up this hill. Oh my goodness. Oh. All right, sit down, stay right there. Oh, that is a good start. We will take that. It wasn't even a good swing, but it worked out. Man, all right, we got to convert this eagle. We have to start with an eagle here. That would be such a good start to this episode. Let's see if I can make this thing. The focus is on right now. I think I'm like right in here. Did I crush it? Oh, I crushed it. Oh, dang it. Whew, and I snuck in the birdie. Man. The heart was pounding there. I should have had an eagle to start with, but we'll take a birdie. That's not too bad. All right, hole number 2. Let's check this thing out. Oh, yeah, so I saw this creek in the fly-through, and this is my favorite piece of planting on the whole course. They have made this creek look so natural. These creeks are really hard to do in this game, especially, I know yeah, you can see a couple of the little waterfalls there. I think creeks can be really difficult to make look natural because of the sculpting tools. We don't really have the sculpting tools that like can make these things look really natural. So I love the look of this. And down there you can see it you can see a bunch of the islands in the middle of the creek. I think that looks so good. I love that look. But the creek is in play on this hole though, because let's see, how far is it to this creek? It's 291 down past that bunker, but it kind of works diagonally with the hole, but we're down 20 yards almost. So those definitely, that creek definitely comes into play, and you can see that it slopes down into it as well. So this is how long's the hole? It's only 410, so you probably wouldn't need to hit driver here. With that being said, I don't know what you'd lay up with, because as I'm looking here, this is about the narrowest part of the hole is in this 274 range, which I think if you hit 3-wood down 20 yards, that's about where you're going to hit it. The narrowest part of the hole looks right in here to me, but you take the water out of play. See, you can tell that my brain is thinking, so that means it's a good hole. It means that there's a lot of options and possibilities here. I'm probably hitting 3-wood, to be honest. I don't know that I'd want to hit driver and bring that creek into play, because if I hit a bad 3-wood, I end up in a bunker or over to the side here, and I don't have a penalty shot on my scorecard. And I think that's the most important thing on tee shots like this, is to make sure that you are taking penalty shots out of the equation. So with that in mind, I think I am going to hit 3-wood, even though but we're into the wind. Ooh. You can see my brain's working, so it's a good design. That's for sure. I think I'm gonna hit driver because I'm into the wind. I would normally hit 3-wood. Given no wind, I probably hit 3-wood, but into the wind a little bit, I think I'm gonna hit driver, and I'm probably gonna carry it just about to there, to be honest, into the wind like this. So I'm just gonna aim it right at the dead center of this area here, see if I can get it in play. Ooh, that was a nice swing. Yeah, that'll work out. Yeah, see, I carried it right to there. That's where I'd want it to end up, I think. But just into the wind, I was able to hit driver there in the game, but I probably hit 3-wood there. Something to make sure that I don't get it into that creek. Coming up to this green, oh, this is very severe for this game. which I'm sure they knew. I think that they definitely had the benefit of having played around with this, because I think a lot of the designers of this course had early access. So this is a very steep green for sure. Let's see here. I think we're just playing this right at the pin. I don't think I would be playing this away from this slope. It's far enough away from this edge of the green here that I think I can go right at it. I just wouldn't want to get caught over on this side of the hole. I would definitely want to end up over here, because this is going to bring it all back to here, and it'll probably just end up in this area, it looks like. But I'd like to get aggressive, so I'm going to go right at this pin, is what I'm thinking here. I need that to draw. That's going to come down, I think. Yeah, that's going to roll all the way back. That is an evil little pin. By the way, I am playing pin number 3, for those of you who are wondering. I don't think I remember to mention that at the beginning of this. So let's see here. Big sliding putt. Yeah, we're just going to trust this. It should come down pretty far. Yeah, okay, we'll take that. All right. We're 1 under through 2. Now this... Oh. Wow. Okay. This is... Oh, boy. This is evil right here. Because we've got... Man, oh, man. So in this game, you can only carry at 274 with driver. And I think my argument against this, the length of this tee shot, is that you can't carry it to this slope. In real life, this, I mean, I'm carrying it 300. I'm carrying it just about up here to this bunker. And this creek is only in play on really poor tee shots. But this feels like a lot of slope for where you're going to be carrying it, because it's just so... You're going to hit it here, and you're invariably going to end up down here, or you're going to hit this hill, and you could even bounce this thing into the water. It feels like. Maybe it doesn't. But this seems like where you're going to be hitting your tee shot, it just seems like an area that's too narrow and too slopey for the club that you have to hit off the tee. But we're going to hit driver, and I'm definitely going to... Into the wind like this, it's going to be really difficult to keep it out of this right rough, I think. But we'll see. We'll see if I can do it. I'm going to be playing this up into here, and it's probably going to kick down to the right. Well, I hit a good one. Oh, well, I did cover it. So maybe that's just me complaining, but it seemed a little bit narrow, especially if that got a little bit too much into the wind and you couldn't carry that section of it. That would not be good. But maybe they could have play tested it enough to where they know that that's how they want the hole to play. So, yeah, I'm not sure. That slope seemed a lot, though, to have to cover it in this game. But the other thing, too, is my character, I haven't leveled it up very much, so I bet you can carry it further with different archetypes and whatnot, however that works in this game. I'm still not 100% sure. But, yeah, that was a diabolical tee shot as well. So, 13 yards up. Let's see here. We're probably just playing it back into this slope here. There's not anything too intimidating. I don't know that I'd be too intimidated by this little bowl here. It certainly wouldn't be fun, but I think it'd be better than being over here in the bunker. This front section seems pretty tame to me, to be honest. I'm probably just playing the center of the green right here and just making sure that I get myself up onto this tier. And I have this backstop as well, so we're really just trying to dial it in. This is kind of the point I want to land it on right there. Play it just in the center of this section of the green. Ooh, this looks decent. Keep hitting it, wind. Laying soft. Oh, we will take that. Oh my goodness. Oh, I almost missed it. I almost rushed that and missed it. Okay, we're 2 under through 3. Okay, so this is down a significant ways. So, one thing, and so I use a course management system called Decade, and which I highly recommend if any of you have never heard of it or don't know what it is. It's a course management system that basically mathematically tells you generally how you should be playing golf courses. It's not 100% all the time correct, but for the most part, 90 to 95% of the time, it's what you should be following. And one of the main tenets here is as long as there's enough width here, and it's about 60 yards with driver, that's about how far. It's a little bit more, it's like 60 to 65. If you've got enough room there to hit driver and you don't bring any penalties into play and you don't gain anything, don't gain any width, such as right here you have these center bunkers, you should always be hitting driver, even on these short little par fours, because you're much better with hitting short pitches than you are from 100 yards in the fairway at the PGA Tour level, that is. Some amateurs would probably disagree with that statement, but your standard, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't even think of it. Your standard distance from the hole, your proximity to the hole, that's the word I'm looking for. Your proximity to the hole is much better with pitch shots than it is with 100-yard wedges, essentially regardless of what the green looks like, unless it's just crazy sloping away from you or you have a really difficult tier to navigate where your ball won't stop as quickly. But for the most part, you should be trying to hit driver on these short par fours, and I think the same goes for this game. It seems like an area where you've just got so much room on either side. There's no out of bounds, is there? Yeah, there's no out of bounds. This is driver all day, and you are trying to get this up by the green, and if you don't get it into a good spot, you're trying to get out with 4. I'm going to hit driver. I'm going to go basically right at this pin and see if I can run this up on the green. Oh, man, that was a nice swing, too. Oh, it's going to catch this bunker, isn't it? Bounce over it? Oh, it did. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if that I wanted it. I don't know if I'm. Ooh, you know what? I actually have a decent chance here. I have a decent little shot. Okay, so this is running heavily away from me here, and I actually ended up. Ooh, wow! I didn't notice this this falling off the back. That is really sneaky. This back area. So that ball could have rolled all the way down into the rough there, but I still think you're taking driver unless driver is going to knock you way over the green. Man, I love this hole. This is a beauty. I didn't notice this back area. I wish I'd seen that off the tee. It might have affected my decision making a little bit. I would definitely still be going for this green, but I would maybe be considering hitting 3-wood, especially in real life, because it was only a 340-yard hole. I'd maybe be considering hitting 3-wood and making sure that I'm short, because I don't know that you really want to be long. That would be, because that could roll a really long ways down into that heavy rough, and then you'd have a really difficult time getting that back and up and down. Boy, and then you can see if you're over here on the left, you've got a really awkward shot because it'll roll back to you if you chip it too short, but then it'll also roll away from you if you chip it too long. So you've got a really narrow area of green to hit it to. Gosh, what a good hole. I love this hole. This is awesome. This is a really cool concept. Just a big downhill drivable par 4 with a big runoff at the back. Very, very nice. I love this hole. All right, let's see if I can get this chip close. Let's see how far this rolls. Ooh, stay. Oh, whew. I thought that might roll off the green, but we've got to look at birdie. Stay up. Oh, man, that would have been really nice. Wow, that rolled out a long way, too. Alrighty, we got our par after getting it pin high and won. I'm really happy with that tee shot looking back now. It was honestly ignorance is bliss. I didn't realize that it rolled so far away over the green, so I'm pretty happy with where I ended up on that shot. Now this is a hole I saw when I was flying around. This par 3 is beautiful. I love the sight line past it. You can just see all the way up some of these other holes. I don't quite know what holes those are. I'm assuming those are holes that are coming up. But just that sight line all the way back, I think that looks so good. If you take away the cursors, I mean, that just looks really, really nice. That is so cool. All right, let's see what we can do here. So a front pin, and it looks like it's actually sloping a little bit into, but it's a little downhill as well. This is a nasty little pin for 162 yards. So you cannot hit it in this bunker here. This is completely toast if you're playing this in real life, because everything's sloping away from you. Probably the best you're going to do is the fringe, and you don't really have a chance of getting that close. So this is one of those rare instances where a pin is closer to a side of the green, but you're almost favoring that side of the green. You'd much rather be in this bunker right here than you would want to be over here. So when I'm looking at this, I'm probably playing this right at it. Maybe even just a touch right of it. With the wind, I'm probably going to play it right here, and we're just going to see if I can get this thing to bounce up there and get it a little bit close. All right, I hit a fast. I don't know that the wind is going to hold that one. It might, though. Yeah, it's going to go down to that bunker. Ooh, it stayed out of it. I'm really happy it stayed out of it because bunker play is difficult in this game. And I flubbed it, but I gave myself a putt, so I'm pretty happy with that. Let's just get this in there for par. Oh, and I didn't do it. That broke so much. Too bad. There goes my bogey free. Wow, this is very misty up here. Gosh, look at this creek over here. This is the stuff right here. I love this look. You can just see the water going through these weeds. Man, that looks fantastic. And you can see the waterfalls right there as well. Gosh, that is really nice. Very, very nice. Okay, so what do we got here? We got a par 5. So it looks like we have this tiny little center hazard, which I'm not the biggest fan of center hazards in general. They're not typically my cup of tea, mainly for the reason that, practically speaking, with driver dispersions, you don't really have the control to actually eliminate this hazard from your shot dispersion. You don't. If I'm playing this hole in real life, I'm looking at this water because it's the penalty hazard on the hole, and I'm thinking just above my cursor right here, and I'm playing it 33 yards right of this, and that puts me about into here. And the thing is, I can almost take out that creek from play, especially the further I go up here, the less this creek is in play for me, statistically speaking. But I can't really eliminate that bunker without just playing it all the way up into here, and you're never going to play the shot up into the heavy rough. So that's my one issue with centerline bunkers, is they just don't really, they don't add to the strategy of the hole. They just are a nuisance, if that makes sense. And that's not a knock against the designers. That's just my personal take on them, and I think it would go in line with the decade system, is that you're just never going to be able to get this bunker out of your shot dispersion, but you're also never going to not hit driver on this hole because it's a par 5. So you want to be giving yourself a chance to get there in 2, and you would there'd just be no reason to hit 3-wood and not be able to get home. So I think it's just driver, and if I hit it into that center bunker, I just have to tip my cap and say, all right, we're going to be basically laying this up and playing it as a 3-shot hole anyway. So it's frustrating. You could hit a really good tee shot that's well within your shot dispersion and have it still end up into hazard. I think that's my gripe with it. But we're just going to play it up in here. Hopefully we can get this thing in the fairway. And I hit a fast. I knew that one was fast right when I hit it. But it looks like it's going to stay in the fairway, which is good. We'll take that. Rather have that than the alternative going way left. And okay, so we've got this. So if I'm not mistaken, this is one of the template holes, and I can't remember the name of it. But basically, you've got this right side, and right is almost as difficult as left because you've got to navigate these slopes here on the right side. But it looks like I have a back left pin, so I'm probably able to just play this up into here, and I'll have a pretty decent chip shot down to this green. So I think I'm just going to play it up into here, and maybe the wind will take it, but I'm just going to give myself a pitch and have a really easy shot in for my 3rd. And that was a really nice swing, but I think it's going to catch this rough. Yeah, it just barely caught it. It was very close to being really good. But you can see it slopes away, so this will be interesting to navigate, especially from this heavy rough. I won't know quite how far it's going to carry. All right, let's see where this rolls to. Oh, man, I got it caught up in that fringe. I would like to putt this, and I think I'm going to, and just hope it doesn't come out blazing hot like I know it can in this game. So I'm just going to play it this far and see if this is enough. And if I leave it short, that's okay. But it's just kind of what you have to do in this game, is just play it way short. Is it going to get there? Oh, it did. We made it. Just one of those feel things right there. Just got to get used to it. Putting from the fringe. It's kind of nice that it's tricky to putt from the fringe, but it's also a little annoying that it just doesn't come out the way it would typically come out if it was on the green. I'd like it to have like a percentage of how hard it comes out. I think that'd be a better way to do it than just have it be like that. Have it be kind of like you're hitting from the rough where it's 60 to 75%. Have it something like that where you can actually calculate it. But Yeah, I don't particularly like that method, and I don't know that it's intentional either, so that makes me really not like it. But okay, here we are, hole number 7. We've got this creek over here to the left again, so I'd say this is the effective end of the fairway, so I'm probably playing this up into here. And yeah, this is just a good hole. Yeah, you just got to kind of man up and hit a big one here, because there's not going to be, you're going to probably bring it into this heavy rough sometimes, and you just got to accept that because you really don't want to get it down into this hazard. So I'm probably playing this right about in here. I'll play it a little bit further left because of the wind, but this is kind of my ending target is right there. Oh, and I hit a fast again. Shoot. And that is definitely going to be in the heavy rough, so this will be a lot tougher of a shot in. But I actually drew a pretty decent line, it looks like. So hopefully I can use this backstop. That would be very nice. I don't know that I'm going to be able to carry this all the way there, but we're just going to try and hit this club. Now, this is one of those sneaky holes where actually I think this back right fringe area, this would be a decent spot to hit it. Just over this green. Give yourself a chip. Is it back downhill? I can't tell if it slopes. Ooh, it does slope away. I take that back. I don't think that would be a very good spot. I think if I'm here, I'm probably just trying to get it into here. And if I get lucky and I cover the slope and I use this backstop, it gets close, but I'm not really banking on that. I just want to make sure that I give myself a putt. So I'm probably just going to play the center of the green with a 5-iron and just give myself a look at birdie, regardless of if it's from over here or if I do get it up into here or if I get lucky and it gets up into there. Let's see where this one bounces to. It's probably going to end up in that spot I was pointing at earlier. Yeah, just over on this left side. If you don't hit that one in the fairway, that back right pin is really tough to get to. And that actually rolled all the way off the green. Wow, I didn't realize that that's so hard away. Because I landed that basically on this line right here. So that is pretty evil right there. This is a very difficult hole. Just a brutal green for a decently long par 4. It's only 456, but it's still a very, very tricky green. I do like that back rolling away, though. I didn't even notice that. I think that this hole is very fun. Oh, look at that. That is one thing I don't like about the chipping in this game is you wouldn't block it that far. You wouldn't be hitting a cut shot like that. That is not the height of realism, in my opinion. I wish there were better... I think chipping, if you did a fast or a slow, it should be the distance you hit it. If you hit it fast, it goes a lot further, and if you hit it slow, it goes a lot shorter. I think that'd be a much more realistic way than having it go left or right. Something's wrong with that. Something needs to change on that front. All right, let's try and get this one in. Did I hit it? Oh, huge. Saved my par there. We will take that. All right, uphill par 3 it looks like. A longer par 3 as well. This big slope over here on the left, it looks like you could kick it down off of this slope and get it onto the green, but it also looks like it would probably roll a little bit too far, and you definitely bring in that back right fall off going down to that down to this tier over here. But with that being said, that would probably be a pretty easy chip to basically every pin except maybe this front pin. This bunker looks terrible. This is about the only spot you can't hit it. Obviously, assuming that you're not going to hit it up onto this hill past that cursor, but you're probably just playing this somewhere over here to the right, taking out that bunker out of play, because that bunker is absolute death. You are essentially making bogey 100% of the time, and everything's sloping away from you. I think you're just playing this to the right. You're probably bringing these bunkers into play, but you'd rather be in these bunkers than that left bunker there. So it's really funny that this bunker is such a major strategic element of this hole, despite it being maybe 5 yards wide and 5 yards deep. It's not that big of a hazard, but I can't overstate how important this bunker is to the strategy of the hole. Yeah, we're just going to be playing this in here. It's up 23 feet, so we're just trying to get this one on the green, give ourselves a putt. Well, I hit it slow, and it's kind of going at the bunker I was pointing at, but I think this could be okay. That's going to roll back, isn't it? Well, we will take that. That on the green is good. We can live with that. And then this is obviously a putt. You're just trying to lag this up there. You're never trying to really make this putt. You want to have good speed and give yourself you want to tap in. That's your goal on a putt of this length, especially over a tier. Well, that never really came right, did it? All right, got to make these. All right, there we go. Alrighty, hole number 9. We are already on hole number 9 of this course. And here is a very narrow tee shot with driver. This is a hole that I think in real life, these bunkers are almost not even in play, because look at this. So it's 285 to cover this left bunker, and it's 309 to cover that right bunker. So that right bunker is definitely in play, but I think if I'm hitting driver, I'm probably just covering this left bunker. But the other thing is, it looks like it's going to run out on that left side. It looks like it could roll all the way through the fairway. But on a 496-yard hole, you definitely just have to hit driver. I think an issue I might have with this hole, in this game in particular, is carrying driver only this far. It looks like that bunker might not be coverable all the time, and you've essentially limited... You can't lay it up short of this bunker, and you can't really take these bunkers out of play. So you're essentially left with the narrowest shot on the course right in here, and you just have to hit driver because it's a 496-yard hole. So yeah, I think maybe this tee would need to be moved up if players can only hit it this far, but if they can hit it further, it's okay. And in general, I think 285, if I'm thinking about it in real life, I think that's a little bit too far of a forced carry. I think a forced carry would need to be a little bit shorter, or make it this bunker a little bit further, and then have there be an option to hit it over into here and lay it up short of it. But at 496, the narrowest part of the fairway is covering these bunkers, so the shorter hitters are just completely screwed if they can't cover this bunker. They're forced to having to play it into here, whereas the longer hitters get a major advantage on this hole. And despite, I would say that I'm probably in the 80th percentile of driver distance. I'm not the longest, but I'm definitely above average. I think you still have to look out for the little guy on a hole like this. And if I'm thinking about it from a championship perspective, this would be a hole where maybe a guy who hits it shorter and gets through with his short game would definitely struggle. And I don't know that that's necessarily a good thing. It's not a good kind of struggle because you're just forced to hit it into this narrow section. Yeah, but let's see where we can get this driver out to. Ooh, that was a good swing right there. And I wonder how far the distance is between those two bunkers there. This tee shot ended up in a good spot, but I wonder what the distance is. If it's 30 yards or so, I'm okay with it. But if it was only 20 yards, like I was thinking it was only 20 yards, but it could be a little bit further than that. And if it's more than 25, I'm okay with it, because then it's just a tough tee shot. But you get inside 20 yards, then it starts getting a little too narrow to realistically give players a chance of getting it between those bunkers. All right, so back right pin here, and yeah, I mean, this is just a good pin. So you're probably just trying to get it into this area right in here. And if you hit it a little bit further, it gets all the way back to this pin. But if it doesn't, it ends up here, and you can just get away with your 4. You really don't want to go long here in these bunkers. Those would be toast, especially because everything's rolling away. So then you're basically going to chip it out, and it's going to roll all the way down to here. And then you've got this putt for par instead of for birdie. So you just have to play this a little bit short and hope it doesn't get long into those bunkers. So I'm going to play this in here just because of the wind, but I'm probably trying to end it right here, and it's probably going to end up somewhere in there. Oh, that was slow. That was so bad. I need this to sit. Yeah, it's in that rough. This is going to be tough. Let's see if I can get this anywhere on this back tier. Oh no. Oh, this is where the round might unravel. I've had a couple of these holes in these playthroughs, and I need to limit it here. Okay, but this looks like a decent shot. If I can get away... Ooh, that was really nice. If I can get away with bogey, I'm fine with it. All right, we got out of there. Yeah, really good pin back there. That is, in real life, on a 490-yard hole where you've got 175 yards in, you're almost never taking that pin on, trying to get it onto that back tier. Realistically, you have to get a little bit lucky to get it onto that back tier. Normally, you're probably just going to play that just a little bit short and just hope that you get it up there and get lucky. But if it doesn't, you just have to take your medicine and get out of there with a 4, because 4 is never going to hurt you on a hole that hard. But all right, here we go. We got hole number 10. up 72 feet, so we're probably not getting there anyway. No hazards off of this tee, so we're really just trying to get this in the fairway. And this would be a hole you maybe swing it a little bit of extra juice on it if I'm thinking about this in real life, because it's such a wide fairway. So I'm probably just trying to blast this thing, get it up there, and hopefully have a chance to get there in 2. And if I don't, I'm just laying it up anyway. It's a 3-shot hole. So yeah, let's get this thing, see if we can get out in the fairway. Got the 106 power right there. We will take that. Speaking of swinging out of your shoes, very nice. Yeah, but still not getting home. And look at that. So you got the sight line blocked. If you get it into this area here, you wouldn't be able to see the green at all with your second shot. Can't think of what hole it is at Erin Hills. It's got a little bit of an Erin Hills vibe to it, though. There's just a couple holes out there where you really have these blocking bunkers from the green, and it makes the shots really interesting. It's also got Whistling Straits vibes as well. Not Whistling Straits, I'm sorry. Bandon, no. What course did they play for the U.S. Open? They had the drivable par 4 that was kind of a bowl effect. It's out west. I can't believe I can't think of the course. It's not. Maybe it is Bandon Dunes. It could be. I have not played out there, but that could be the course I'm thinking of. But I think I'd be wanting to hit 3-wood and try and get this up into here. Boy, this bunker though. I think just it being a par 5, I think I would probably get a little bit greedy here and try and get this over this bunker. I don't know that it's necessarily the right play, but I think if I were playing this in real life, this would be a spot where I'd try and cover this bunker. And if I didn't cover it and ended up in this bunker, I would just take my medicine and rely on my short game to get this up and down, or get it near the pin and give myself a putt for birdie. I think I'd get aggressive with this one, and just leave it up my short game. I would be trying to get as far up here as I could so that I could have a visual of the green and I could actually see what I'm looking at. Because if you lay it back to here, you almost have no idea of where you're aiming. And I think some of those shots are some of the toughest shots in golf. So yeah, I'd probably be trying to fit this one up into this area here. And that is probably going to go in that bunker, unless I get lucky. Oh, okay, we'll take it. We got a visual of the green. That was our goal. So it's a pretty level green up by this pin, actually. So we're just going to be trying to land it right on it, I think. And this could end up okay. Ooh, it rolled out a little bit, but that's not bad. We will take that. Is it not going to turn? Oh, it didn't turn. I thought I'd made that one for sure. That is a thrown away shot, it feels like. Hit 2 good shots to end up there. But, oh well, look at this hole. Oh, what a beauty. I guess this is why you have it raised up around the sides of the property. Look at I just love the mist that you can see. It really makes you focus on the green in front of you. Man, what a beauty. This hole looks fantastic. But okay, so it's down just a little bit, and it looks like it's gonna run away over the back of the screen. You can tell the green's a little bit bigger because it's a longer hole. That's always a good thing to do, is just have a bit bigger of a green, a little bit more forgiving. But you've got this major slope going down towards this left edge of the green. But I'm probably still playing this right about in here, would be my bet. And just accepting sometimes that my ball is going to end up over to here, but it's really not going to be too bad to any pin. You should be able to get that up and down. For a 230-yard hole, you're just trying to make par here. You're not trying to do anything fancy, get this ball close. So we're just going middle of the green here, and we are just trying to get this up somewhere on the putting surface, and preferably on this left side of this pin. But overall, probably this left side is just A-okay to go to. Oh, that was slow. I could feel it. Stay on the green over there. And we're okay with that. You got a bunch of fairway over here. I think this is going to be a pretty easy chip shot, really. Sloping just a touch away from us. I got a perfect, so that will help. But it did run away a little bit more than maybe I was thinking it would. All right, this is the ones you got to make right here. Ooh, we got it. Hole number 12 here. And another centerline hazard. But I'm okay with this on a short par 4 because you have the option to actually lay it up over to here. and you can take that bunker out of play. You realistically can get that bunker out of your shot dispersion by playing it back and a little bit to the side here. And I probably would really be trying to avoid that bunker, because I believe that bunker is going to be somewhere in the realm of 85 yards out, and that's a shot you really want to avoid when you're playing golf, is this 85-yard bunker shot, because your 60-degree or your sand wedge, it's really difficult to get clean contact. You have such a steeper angle of attack with a wedge shot than you do with, say, a 6-iron or a 5-iron. So honestly, when you get it into here, it's funny how the math works out. The PGA Tour scoring average from 85 yards in the bunker is the exact same number as it is from 150 yards from the bunker. So if you hit your tee shot into a bunker that's 85 yards away from the pin, you have the exact same scoring average if you're a PGA Tour player from 150 yards, which is very surprising, because if you're in the rough from 85 yards, you have a much better scoring average than if you're 150 yards from the green in the fairway. It's a staggering difference. So driver is typically always preferred in these situations, except if you're going to get it into one of these bunkers here. So I'm probably taking this bunker out of play and just trying to get it up into this area and give myself a wedge in my hand, because it's going to be 100 yards basically if I get 3-wood into the fairway here. So I'll have a wedge in my hand and be able to get aggressive. I don't think I can get this down to the green or anything, and it's not really worth taking on that small little bunker in the fairway. So I'm probably going to hit 3-wood here. And that was a big time fast. That is going to be a problem. But I stayed in the fairway. It's a wide enough fairway I was actually able to get away with it. And we've got a nasty green here. Look at this. Everything slopes off of this bunker right here, going onto the green. A very realistic bunker here. You get a lot of these. I think some designers in this game get a little scared of having these runoffs from where the bunkers run up onto the green. But this is something you see all the time, because you want the bunkers to be very visible, so you'd have these sections where the land around it is raised up. So that's very realistic, and yeah, that it makes for a very evil green right here for such a short par 4. But we're just trying to get this one up on the green, and it's downhill a little bit, so I'll probably play it a little bit closer. But yeah, I'd probably be going right at this pin, because you don't really want it to roll off to this side, but you also can't really aim it over here to the right because you got this bunker here. So probably playing it about in here, just trying to get this thing on the green. Oh, draw in there. I didn't realize I had a pitch shot. That's frustrating. I really don't like that it auto picks a pitch shot for you sometimes, because that was not the shot that I wanted to hit. But that's this game for you. Down. And that was really nice. We will take that. Very good. All right, 13. Holy smokes. Look at this. Got a little natural eroded section here. It's actually really cool. I really like that. It gives the hole a lot of character. Like, this is a hole you remember, right? Because you're talking with your buddies after the round. You're thinking about going back on the holes, thinking about what you're going to do the next day in a tournament. And you're like, yeah, the hole with the gash in it. And everybody knows exactly what you're talking about. It gives it a very distinct character. And I'm sure there'd be some reason why this was there and why they left it there. And it actually plays a little bit into the strategy of the hole. It makes it a little bit more luck-based. And I know I've said a couple times earlier with these middle bunkers that sometimes the luck-based things are pretty frustrating. And this probably would be frustrating if you got it caught in some of these rough areas. But, I mean, at the same time, it's a little bit more fun, because you can get down into the fairway, but you also can get stuck up in this rough. So I can't quite put into words why I think it's a little bit better than a center bunker, but for some reason it just is to me. It leads to some interesting shots with these side slopes and having my feet way above the ball or way below the ball if I'm on this left slope. So it's kind of just a central hazard without it being a bunker, which is cool. I really like that a lot. But yeah, I'm probably playing this just right at the left edge of this bunker and just trying to blast it up there and hope I dodge some of this rough. This is going to catch that rough, and it kicked over to the right. Well, now that I've gotten a bad break from it, I hate it. So, no, I still like this central hazard without it being a bunker. I think that's a really cool idea. So let's try and use this backstop here. We're from this heavy rough, so we're definitely not going to spin it. So I would want to be trying to use this backstop. I think you would be hard-pressed to get it over that unless you caught one of those big jumpers, but in this game that doesn't really happen, so we can get pretty aggressive here with a 5-iron and try and run it up there and then have it roll back to this pin. Oh, just a huge fast. Man, that's probably my worst swing of the video. Shoot. That will make this very difficult, it looks like. Oh, very difficult. Yeah, I didn't really see this slope here. You couldn't actually miss this shot to the right. It's going to make this shot very difficult. If I was to think about that a little bit harder, I would have played that a lot more left, because you can really make a 4 from anywhere left of this pin, but over to the right, you've got this little knob just right of the green that if you're right of it, your chip is rolling away from you really hard. So I think that was a bit of an oversight on my part, and now we are definitely paying the price for it. But let's try and use this slope maybe. I think maybe this is my best chance of getting this close, is actually chipping it up off of here, rolling it down this, and then using that yellow slope right there and trying to get this a little bit closer. Or I didn't chip it quite hard enough, but hopefully this gets back. I don't know that I'm doing much better than that if I go straight at it, and I've got a pretty straight putt here, so I actually think that was maybe the right play. Come on, turn in. Yeah, that was a tough one. That's a mental mistake into the green right there. All right, we're at even par. We're trying to beat even par, so we're on our number again. Land within 23.3 feet of this pin, huh? Okay, well, the challenge has been accepted here. Let's see if we can get this one close. Although it doesn't look like a pin I necessarily want to try and get it close to. This left side to this pin looks terrible, because it's just going to kick all the way down here. You're probably ending up down here more often than you're ending up in that bunker. Just because, especially for a block for me, it's probably not going quite as far as if I pull it. So, I mean, you've just got to hit it over here and give yourself a downhill chip. I'm probably trying to play this. This is 210 yards, so I'm playing it 11 yards right of it. And it looks like it's about 5 yards, so I'm probably playing it 6 yards right of it. But then it's a +2 over on this side, so I'm probably playing this almost 13 yards from this edge of the green, probably almost 8 yards right of this pin, so I'm right about in this area here and just trying to get this thing up on the green. I'll probably aim it over into here just because of the wind, but this is about the end line that I want it to end on. And that was a slow. That is going to be killer. Down into the dummy hole. Yep. Ooh, I really wish that had stayed in the fairway. Yeah, we're going to be struggling here for par for sure. That made this hole a lot tougher. Let's see if we can get this one up somewhere near the pin. Oh, and this is a bad lie as well, so I got to hit this a little bit harder, I think. Oh my goodness. Look at the short game. Ooh, we will take that. That is one... Oh, I almost missed that putt. That is one where you take a deep breath of relief and you move on and you don't ever think about it again, because you just got away with murder, basically. All right. We got our par there. Another par 5 here. Interesting. So you've got this left area that you can try and cover these bunkers, and you've also got this right area that you can play it into. This right area looks wide enough that you can just go right at it. You can be trying to take it over into here. I'm probably not ever trying to get it onto this left side, simply because it's going to bounce way down to the left, and it's going to bring those trees into play as well, and you're just going to have a horrible lie. I'd rather land it up here on the right side and hope for it to kick down right. And if I hit it in these bunkers, I'd much rather be in these bunkers, in real life at least, much rather be in these bunkers than down here on this slope. So I'm probably playing it up this right side, and I'm probably never taking on that left side unless I can cover that bunker there, which is at 322. So I'm almost never taking on that left side unless I'm way downwind on this hole. So we're just trying to play it to the center of this area here, and I'll play it a little bit left because of the wind. That was a good swing right there. Very nice. All right, second shot into this green. Yeah, and you can see that if you take on that left side off that tee, you have a much better angle into this green that is sloping hard from right to left with a bunch of tiers actually as well. So this is just a hole where if you can get it over to that left side, you're getting a little bit lucky and you get a good angle into this green. But for me right now, we're just trying to get this up over this bunker. And if you can get it up over this bunker and get it down into that fairway over there on the left, you're doing really well because you're chipping back up to this pin and this green. And that needed to draw a little bit more. But we've left ourselves a good angle into this pin, which is what we were looking for. Ow, but it caught that heavy rough. Oh well. See, and this chip is so easy that this is where you'd be trying to miss it all day. It's just down into this hole. And if you did happen to get it onto this green, kind of in this area, you'd be thrilled. But you would never want to miss this green to the up onto this section here, getting it up onto this rough and have it not roll down, because you almost maybe couldn't even hold this green. You just roll it down to where I am right now. So that'd almost be a shot penalty, hitting it up onto there. So let's just try and get this one up by the pin. I would trust myself a lot more in real life with this shot than I do in this game. Oh my gosh, a very fast. Oh, that did not feel like a very fast. Ooh, that one hurts a lot. What a bummer. All right, let's do a chip shot here. See if this serves me any better. Didn't quite get all the way there, but if I can get par, I'll be okay with it, even though I'm disappointed with that pitch shot. It's just not going to turn, is it? Shoot. Man, that is so disappointing. It's very frustrating, too. I hate that very fast is so killer right there. Even though it did not feel like a very fast, I'll say that. All right, we've only got 3 holes left to make a birdie. Get this even par or better. Yeah, so we got these 2 center bunkers right here. Again, this is another hole. I've already said my piece about centerline bunkers, but yeah, I mean, I'm just hoping that I can cover these bunkers in real life, because if I can't, this is a tough tee shot, but I think I might be able to with it being down 77 feet. So let's just try and give this a try. I'm probably going just over the right edge of this bunker here. It's a good swing. I did cover them. Okay. So I'm okay with those bunkers, especially serving as a visual hazard. I think they do a really nice job of that. But that would be a very frustrating... it's good the way that it is. I think that's great. No problems with those centerline bunkers. They're just there for show, and if they're there for show, I think they're serve their purpose well, because it makes the tee shot look a lot tighter than maybe that it is. Okay, so we got this back pin here. We can use this slope here. You probably don't want to miss this. Yeah, you don't really want to miss this thing long. That is going to roll down into a bowl and be a pretty difficult chip shot, a difficult shot to navigate. So it is actually up 20 feet, so we're going to have to play this a little bit longer than maybe. We might have to bring on this back edge if we're going to carry it all the way there. And we got this wind going to the right, so I'm probably playing this one right at the pin is where I want it to end up. So I'm going to aim it somewhere in here. And I hit a slow. Oh, man. This round has unraveled. Unfortunate. Hopefully we can get this one up and down. That was a decent chip, though. Yeah, that was pretty good. We will take that. Very nice. All right. Hole 17, oh, very nice short par 3. I'm a sucker for these short par 3s. And look at this one, a little bit of a punch bowl. And you know what's funny? I was just talking about, so I have a course design series going on right now on my YouTube channel. You can go check those videos out. And I actually built a very similar hole to this, and it's a short par 3 where you've got basically a wedge in your hand, but everything slopes away from you. So these front pins here, you have to be very precise with your distance, because if you land it here, it's probably going to kick really far forward. You want to be landing it in this flatter area here, and you have to be able to control your distance really well. And it's not even particularly it's not a small green in square footage, but the effective area of the green is very small, and you can't be missing it short-sighted to any of these pins, because it's just going to roll so far away from you. So I love these short par 3s, and I love that it just slopes away from you as well. It's very, very nice. All right, I caught a bit of a fast, which is good, I think. Oh, but I need that wind to hit it harder. It's going to be a little bit deep, isn't it? Okay. This is a pretty straight putt, it looks like. Not doing a ton. Did I do it? Oh, man, I thought I did it. Gosh, that would have been huge. Okay. One more hole. Let's see if I can get my birdie here. Hole 18. A very wide fairway here, which is not necessarily a bad thing. A big ridge up here on the right, so it looks like maybe this plateau here, if you can get it up on that, you get a little bit of an angle at the pin as well as a better angle around that bunker. So that's a really cool concept. Because if you're in here, you have that bunker straight in your line and you can't see the green at all. So if you keep it away from up here and this slope there, this looks like the spot you want to be. It's the flattest angle, or it's the flattest shot, flattest lie, that is. So I'm going to try and hit it up there. I don't know that I necessarily would in real life. I probably would just be playing this in the center of the green, or the center of the fairway rather. Probably right at that through bunker right there. Yeah, kind of right at the center of that bunker. But I'm going to try and get it up here and give myself an angle at this pin so that hopefully I can see it and have a little bit better of an angle into the green. All right, come on, get over there. Down it goes. Shoot. But it's still a good shot in play. And yeah, you would be able to take out some of this slope right here. That would have been very helpful to get this. Look at this green. A nice two-section green. This is very, very cool. I love this green. Just with having this distinct area back here, as well as over in here, you've got a lot of different areas that you're playing to, and a lot of different ways that this hole can play, and probably a lot of different areas where a tee shot is better to be. You're probably better off if a pin's right here. You're probably better being down on this left side of the fairway so that you're not taking on this slope as much. But then back into here, this pin especially, as far right in this fairway as you can get it, the better angle you're going to have it in, and the less you're going to have to contend with this slope that's basically bisecting the green. So I love this concept for a hole. Very, very nice green. Let's see if we can get this one up there. Got to get this one close, so I'm being aggressive. I think I pushed it too much. I didn't account for the slope of the ball, or the lie, that is. Shoot. Well, this would be pretty heroic right here. It's almost a guess at this point, though. Just going up over this tier. See if we can do it. Oh, and I almost made it. Oh, man. What a disappointment after that start. But a fantastic golf course. I really loved this course, guys. You all did fantastic work. I loved a lot of the design concepts on here. A lot of really interesting hole designs. Some very interesting greens. I love the slopiness of a lot of the greens with a lot of different sections that you're playing to. I thought all the holes made a lot of sense. It's an interesting criticism that they make sense, but they all had a very distinct purpose, despite being very subtly hidden, which is something that I think I think every designer strives for, is to hide the idea that is probably the best route. in particular that last hole, I mean, that's a very clear-cut example where you just got a very wide fairway, so you think you're just blasting driver up the middle, but you really do have that right section up on top where you can give yourself a better angle in, but it's hidden, you know. You have to really think about it if you're gonna come up with the best plan to play each hole. Yeah, so great course again. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, everybody go check out the Keg Farm. It's the new course that the Keg Group has made, and it's going to be the site of the TGC Tours Q School anyway, so you might as well check it out. Get some practice rounds in before you take on that Q School. So that's going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you liked the video, and make sure you subscribe too. I'd really appreciate it. So with that being said, have a great day, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.